Wow, another season done. What an incredible playoffs we had. Um, some of the best teams I think that have been assembled in NSL history, aside from Spurs and Portland champion teams. I think were present this season. I think it was the greatest playoff gauntlet we've had so far. Yeah, incredible experience to um, see new GMs getting up to the conference finals and the finals marks, and it's for once being personally removed and not vested in the results. It was yeah, really exciting and enjoyable to watch as a casual. So playoffs, amazing. We can recap that, and then it rolls straight back into the trade market for the addict. Some people are still closed for business, and that's a good thing. When you don't get to taste the playoff success or experience a playoff series, it feels like a long time between events for your team. So I'm straight back on the wagon. So we can talk a little bit about Portland. We've made some moves. I mean, what about Daz? Like shocking the world with probably the most unexplainable, unexpected events I think is probably ever going to happen in this league to take the title and to take pretty much every award that matters, player and um, front office, and then to just say, hey, I've done it. I will find more fulfillment taking the worst franchise in the league and building that up, and giving away what he has built in Milwaukee. So it's incredible. It's only going to help the league. It's only going to help the Warriors find that credibility and that launch that they've been searching for and have been not finding these last few GMs that have been at the helm. So yeah, we can cover playoffs, we can cover Portland, we can cover some trade talk. The draft's just gone down, and with a few picks in the draft, this is the closest I've sort of ever paid attention to mocks and listened to media about draft prospects. So that's been really interesting. I can see why people fall in love with the process. Um, it's just good to be back talking. So the Bucks were the champions. They defeated the Lakers, easily the two best teams, I think, in the league this year. I think the Lakers were the most talented. I think the Bucks just had too much talent and balance. They could match offense with two superstar scorers of their own, and they just had the defensive role players, elite defense. They could run through every position with their starting lineup, and that just proved to be too much for the Lakers. And it's pretty rough. The one day between matches. I know we've talked about that in the past, but if there's ever time to give GMs a chance to maybe research or counterattack, I think it should be the finals. So maybe that's something we can look to implement if it fits in the schedule. I know that part of the season drags on for some GMs, but if the finalists are there, I think if they want it that way, I think it would be really deserved, because I think, yeah, that should be the ultimate chess match, and they should have bought themselves that extra day in between with all of their hard work and success through the year. Um, yeah, fantastic playoffs. It was a good engine in the end. This is one of the better 2Ks that I think we've had. It was hugely refreshing after last season, which I think was pretty terrible in the end. Whatever happened and how the sliders evolved or the game evolved, I don't like the product that it ended up being, and that's nothing to do with us. That's no fault of our own. It seemed a lot more stable this year, and there were still those little glitches that I still maintain happen two, three, four times a year when the game updates and they change their baseline sliders. But I think it balanced itself out really well and stabilized. So that was a success. Well done. Um, yeah, congratulations to the Bucks, Lakers. Commiserations. I would have had titles as GM of the year by far if he was eligible. Daz, obviously, very deserved winner. But I think if he was eligible, I think titles would have had that title. So I hope he takes some solace and pride in that. I think a lot of people feel that way, and he his roster construction and his flicking of the switch and building was incredible. So was Utah. They were the two big standouts for me in terms of capitalizing and flicking the switch and like changing the lens of what they were looking for and building into a contender. So yeah, congratulations to those two teams. Um, yeah, and then we move through the playoffs, and thanks to the admins, and I know Daz gets a lot of love, and I'm glad it was made public that Leroy is just as integral to that process of getting the rosters and the lineups locked and the patches out. So without you two, we don't have playoffs, we don't have a regular season. So I'm gonna try and get a present together for the admin team. I don't know how that's going to look. I've talked to Pete about getting his PayPal details and bank details just to if you want to contribute and just to say thank you. And I know we're a very grateful and respectful league, but I think the admin burden is a serious one, and I think if we can show a little bit of recognition, I just think it's a really graceful thing to do. So I'll be trying to organize that um, organize that soon. So playoffs are done. And then it just flicks. The next day, Daz jumps ship to the Warriors, and then it's almost like the playoffs never happened. And that's it's just what happens. This is a 24/7, 365 league, NSL, as is the NBA. So no time to sleep, no time to rest on your laurels. But I hope Daz really feels fulfilled with what he's achieved. It's massive. It takes so much work and time and emotion and energy and focus. So it's massive, and he'll have that little icon next to his name forever, no matter which organization he's running. So Daz, just enjoy it, mate. I know you're busily trying to get the Warriors jump started, but yeah, don't forget this summer what you've achieved and look back at your box scores or your trades or the critical things you did and just enjoy the moment. Keep enjoying the moment. You can always refer back. You will always be the champion of that season. So well done. Trades. So we've locked down a couple of trades. So Portland's going to look pretty different. There are some rumors that we've already traded out of this draft. The first draft, we actually had a fair bit of capital involved in, and yeah, it might be all gone. We'll have to wait and see if those deals get across the line. But we have pick 2, which was just a boon of lottery luck, and then pick 10 and pick 53 to round out the second round. But yeah, rumor has it they are gone and on the way back in are some second to third year younger players with upside, um, who were fairly like high first round draft picks themselves. So we've kind of gambled on some concrete value, I suppose, with maybe a lower ceiling. And it was also just to condense. We did a lot of selling last season after reading the writing on the wall that we probably weren't going to be good enough, and the financial and trade restrictions were going to make it logistically very, very hard to build a team that could genuinely win the title, especially after seeing um, Lakers after I traded them Drummond and seeing the Bucks win like the first 9 weeks without a loss. So that was why we decided to sell, sell, sell. But at some point, you got to kind of funnel that into something. So while we did really like the draft and we were really excited about the process, it was useful to turn 3 or 4 assets into one. We felt to just shrink the breadth of our portfolio a little bit. So they will go down. One should go down pretty soon, and the other one will go down after the draft, after the site flips. If it goes down after the site flips. So you have to stay tuned for that. We're still talking to anyone who wants to listen. It's actually really nice to talk trades again, and it's the most social part of our league, other than the NBA chat that people follow and contribute to. So it's really nice to just check in with people and, hey, how you going? What are you looking for? Most teams seem to just be holding, but there's a few of us who are It seems like working pretty hard to make moves. I've still got Derek White, who's probably the most um, exciting piece that I've got to move still, and I'm pretty shocked at the lack of interest. He just had such an amazing NBA Finals. He'll get another 2K boost. I think he's already 86 or 87 overall. Height at the point guard. Elite two-way play when you if you consider his efficient shooting and scoring at three levels elite. I know he's not a high volume scorer. Um, but yeah, on a contender, he would be amazing. So I don't I'm not getting traction pushing that deal with anybody. So he might end up just staying with us, signing that extension and seeing what happens in 6 months if anyone wakes up and comes to their senses and comes and talks Derek White. Apart from that, we've projecting our roster, we've got 15 guys already. 16 if Hartenstein re-signs with the Knicks in real life. And if he does, I think we'll comfortably be able to retain him with that loyalty bonus. If not, I think we have to say bye, and it becomes pretty clear we need another center. It would just be left with just Walker Kessler after we traded Charles Bassey to the Kings in the exciting Houston, Portland, Phoenix, and Sacramento deal where the point guard Chris Paul went to the Rockets, and we were able to bring back two good vets in Harrison Barnes and TJ McConnell, which would be useful trades. Would prove to be useful trade pieces in our negotiations. Other big trades, I think there's a few other superstars moving. I think Rutsi's already said that he's traded down from one, which I think was a good idea. I don't think he needs another JJJ clone. And he gets to add depth at a cheaper price. Quality depth, like 3 and 6 are really good picks still. I think that was the right move. I think it was the right move for the Hawks. What other trades have I seen? I know Dill's made some big moves. That's exciting. I think the Raptors, Dill just can't help but compete. I think the Raptors will look really good. Thunder haven't done a lot, but their guys are signing extensions. Oh, look, in the news about Caruso signing an extension, I think they'll be primed to have a really good season. Trying to be Smokey's always in the trade talks. He's trying to really retool his Knicks. It's great. It's great to see the activity. Lattice, I think Lattice has been involved in a few deals. Yeah, it's my favorite part of the league. Aside from the competing, I hope every manager gets to a point where they are really pushing their team to compete and to get as deep into the playoffs as they can get. I think that's why we should play the game. So I hope everyone at some point has that moment and has a team worthy of that moment, so they can give it a real push. Otherwise, it's just awesome to talk trades again. The NBA draft interesting. Bronny James, it's crazy. Like a sitcom. LeBron's friend they hire as the coach. His son gets drafted. And reading the rumors, it's hilarious that Rich Paul was calling other teams and saying if you pick Bronny, he's going to go play in Australia for an extended amount of time, so don't pick him. Just seems crazy you can do that. These agents are just so murky. They can kind of do whatever they want, it feels like. And unofficial tampering seems to be rife. Bridges getting back with his Villanova teammates in New York. Clearly tampering. If as to the letter, like according to the letter of the law currently, I wonder if anything will come of that. I don't think so because we're now in this player media era where everything is talked about hypothetically on podcasts. So you could just justify that, I think, as being as just being conversation as opposed to an actual invitation to come and join them via trade. So yeah, this is the craziest part of the season. I think the trades really slow down during the regular season. Obviously, there's no trades after the deadline, and now it's a feeding frenzy for the next few months. And then you've got free agency, really exciting. And for the first time forever, we don't really have any inclination to be a player on free agency. We might not even have space. So it might be a very chilled day of maybe selling some second rounders or buying some second rounders, sorry, I should say. And just enjoying the show a little bit like the playoffs this year. We were removed and it was nicer to view it as an exciting event as opposed to something that was just nerve-wracking. Um, Thank you. It's been awesome to chat again. Go NSL, go Portland. Congrats again to the Bucks on winning the title, and to everyone, good luck in the crazy frenzy of player movement, free agency, drafts. Can't wait. See you.